Hey guys, Brent here. Do you want to know how to photograph a family and kids on the beach even when the weather's horrible, when it's raining and cold? Stick around and watch this tutorial and I'll show you how I did it recently and how we got some great images. Okay, so let's have a look at how we got some great images even though the weather was really bad on the day of the shoot. So probably the best way to explain what happened is to show you the images from the photo shoot as I started. So just a little bit of background about what happened here. This family, the Mayers, Cherie and Matthew and kids, had scheduled the shoot, and it was the only day that Matthew could get off work, so we couldn't really reschedule it even though they wanted a beach shoot, and the weather was horrible. A big southerly change came through and it was raining and gusty wind and everything. Anyway, I told them to come down and we'd go to a beach where it's a little bit protected, where we can get away from the wind, and then we just have to see how the rain holds out. So when we got to the beach, it was drizzling and it wasn't too bad. There was no sun or anything like that, but it was a little bit cold. So the first thing I got to do was I got the kids running. So we played races, we had a few games, we got them running down the beach. That warmed them up, and it made it a little bit more fun, so people weren't thinking about the weather anymore. So they're the first couple of shots. I had them racing each other, then I got them running individually. That's Chelsea, and then I got Harry to run. And if we actually zoom in on these images, I wonder if I can actually zoom in on this one. Let's have a look. There we go. You'll actually see a few of the drops around him as he's running. They're drops of rain around him. It's actually quite a cool image. And there we go. We had Cherie chasing the kids up the beach, and you can see the wet over here. That's not from the waves, that's from the actual rain. So we kind of dodged the rain a little bit. When it did rain hard, we went under cover, and I tried to keep the shoot going. We'd come out every now and again when it wasn't raining too hard, and have the kids run around and have the family walk down the beach. And this is one of the ones that they really liked because of the darker background. There's a little bit of water, even though it's a bit of a grey, overcast, rainy day. Everyone's looking the same direction, and everyone is not squinting, which happens on the beach when it's really sunny. So that was quite good, and these images would make great black and white images too. Here we got them running down the beach. I got a couple shot, and often when families have kids, all the focus is on the kids and they never ever have any more couple shots. So I always get a couple of nice couple shots, and normally the family likes this one, and they might get a big canvas print done of that. Another great thing to use is props when you're photographing in bad weather. So luckily they had an umbrella in the car, so we took that out, and everyone was playing around and running and chasing with the umbrella, and that's the wind actually catching the umbrella. So we would have gusts, and you can probably see in the background there's major rain in the background there. It's coming in gusts of rain, and then no rain, and then we'd run under the trees to get away from it, and then we'd come out again. And I also got Harry to bring out his footy ball, rugby ball to play. So I've got some great shots anyway. I just try to keep the shoot dynamic, full of action, fun, running around, playing games, being close, because this family is very close. They're just a beautiful family. And then when it started raining a little bit harder, I took everyone under the trees and we tried to get some close-ups. So I didn't want to wait too long and wait for the rain and for people to start grumbling and moaning. I just kept going. So you got to be a little bit creative when it comes to something like this. So I got Chelsea to sit on a log under the tree. I got Harry and the parents behind me, and I got them to jump around and be clowns and be stupid and dance around and all that stuff. So this is Chelsea actually looking past me or at me, because I might have been the clown at this point. But just some beautiful shots. As you can see, I'm shooting with a wide open aperture so that I can get that beautiful shallow depth of field. And there's Harry too. I think his dad or mum were dancing behind me at that stage. And then I got them together and we had the parents jump around a little bit. So we've got some beautiful shots, and I'm choosing a darker background here, and I'm undercover under the tree. And then we also got the whole family behind there, and I was the clown jumping around. And I also noticed that Matthew was starting to squint because it was starting to get brighter behind me, so I just had them focus on tickling Mum and just playing around, and that way I got the better shots. And you can see there he's really squinting because the sun was starting to come out, or at least it was starting to break a little bit. And we got Harry also squinting a bit. So then I got them all looking at each other so we could get a nice shot interacting with Chelsea. I get them all to give a big kiss. So after that I got them on the beach. I tried to get some different angle shots, mainly because I noticed that Matthew and Harry were squinting, so I got them 180 degrees around, so now they're looking into the foliage behind me, and then they don't squint as badly because it's a dark background behind me. And here I got the kids also looking in a different direction. Hopefully I can get them to open their eyes a little bit more. And then what I did was it started getting a little bit brighter, so I got the family to do the family walk again, walking up the hill, and now we can start to get a little bit better background, and it was starting to break. So almost forgot Chelsea. She wanted to skip for me. She brought a skipping rope along, so we had her skip around a little bit, and I got a couple of shots of that at a very fast shutter speed. I think we'll go back to that. It's 1,000th of a second at aperture f4 over there. And then I brought out the tug-of-war rope, and we got to the kids against the parents. It's always a good one having the kids against the parents. And you'll notice from this I'm shooting in the same direction. I had a look around where the light was the best, and I had a bit of a dark background, so I just get them to put the rope down on the ground and then swap sides. It's a lot easier than me moving around. And then we got the girls against the boys. So that's basically it. I kept the shoot very dynamic, a lot of action, a lot of movement. I didn't get them to sit around too much and think about the bad weather. And this family loved these images. They got canvas, they got some large canvases. I think they got this image as their hero shot on a large canvas, and then they got a collage for the rest of the images. But as you can see, we've got some great images, even though the weather was not so good, and there's no way we could actually get out of this shoot. Or if they didn't come down on this day, and they drove an hour and a half both ways to come to this photo shoot, to come to the beach and have a photo shoot on the beach, because they live quite far inland. So it just shows that when people really appreciate what you can do as a photographer, they will come and get those amazing magical shots that the family hasn't had, and they haven't got any real beach shots in their house. And they love these images because it showed the love of the family, the togetherness, how they're close and how they are full of action and full of fun. I loved actually showing them these images and them wanting to display them on the walls. Here's something to try when you are going to do your next shoot and it's going to rain. I would get a couple of kids from the neighborhood, go down to the beach and give it a test run, see if you can actually photograph them when it's raining, and test your images out afterwards and see if it actually works for you. Because when you're running a photography business, you can't always worry about the weather. If it's bad weather, you still go ahead with the shoot, because possibly you will never get this family on the beach again. What do you think of this video tutorial? Did you like it? Please leave me comments below and I will reply to all your comments. And this is Brent, and have a great day.